What is up and what's happening, Auburn fans? We're back. One more sleep until the Auburn Tigers have an 11:45 a.m. kickoff in Fayetteville, Arkansas, playing the Arkansas Razorbacks, another team that is reeling and trying to start dealing and looking for an SEC win, like the Auburn Tigers. It's been rough out here for these two teams, but they go to war at 11:45 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow morning. What's up, Thomas War Eagle? How are we doing on this Friday afternoon? Y'all, I'm going to keep it quick on this episode today. I am going to watch the Baker Hornets and Fairhope Pirates tonight in a good 7A battle, Region 1. I believe if Baker wins, if they beat Fairhope, I believe Baker wins the region. So a lot on the line tonight. But as far as these Auburn Tigers go, let's get right into it. And, I just think that there is a lot in the media on Auburn right now. There is so much talk about change at Auburn right now. There's so much talk about offensive coordinator. Does Hugh give up play calling? There's so many things going on at Auburn. I mean, you look at your defensive coordinator, his name is getting thrown out about being your replacement. There's just a lot of turmoil at Auburn right now. So how do you prepare your team who is close to go win a game on the road? Oh, yeah, and by the way, they're saying it's 100% chance of thunderstorms in Fayetteville, Arkansas tomorrow. So it's going to be muddy. It's going to be wet. It's probably going to be a little cold. The wind's going to be blowing. Hey, there's tough conditions, so you got to factor all of that into it. And you're on the road, away from home, away from Jordan-Hare Stadium. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough. You're playing a quarterback, an offense that has got it rolling right now. They played Texas A&M last week. They were in a close game. They put up a whole hell of a lot more points than we did. So, everybody says the matchup is the poor defense of Arkansas against the poor offense of Auburn. I went on Hogs on the Hill last night. Arkansas Pod, I think those guys do a great job. And they were like, man, we just don't know if Arkansas's defense can hold up. Like we've lost a lot of close games because we just can't get a stop. And I said, well, I don't know if Auburn's offense can score. So you might have a bad defense, but I don't know if we can score. And they were like, yeah, man, but you don't know how bad this defense is. And I was like, brother, this offense scored 3 points against South Alabama in the second half. It's not good. It's not good. It's 19 touches for Jeremiah Cobb is still not enough. Let's be honest here. This offense is not good. Boy, I watched an episode of C5 and he had Reese Dismukes on. I love hearing from former players. And he said, why this far into the season? We're week 7, week 8 into the season, and we're still shuffling and rotating offensive linemen without injury. Without injury. We're shuffling our offensive linemen without injury. One possession, your left tackle's out. You got your sixth man playing left tackle. Then the next minute, the next drive, you're swapping those guys. You're shifting your left guard out to left tackle. It's like a revolving door is basically what I got out of Reese Dismukes. And the way I decoded it was he was basically saying that a coach wasn't very good without actually saying it. And I just don't trust I don't trust this Auburn offense. And you can sit here and talk about the receivers and the luxury that, oh my God, Auburn's got all that. They're not making plays either. They're not making plays either. It's a losing culture. Everybody wants to throw it on Jackson. Well, it's Jackson Arnold's fault. No, it's everybody's fault. And that's why I don't trust you to go win a football game against what, a 2-5 football team? I think Arkansas's 2-5. Come on, y'all. It's everybody. It is a losing culture. That ball to Cam Coleman was the best ball Jackson Arnold's thrown all year, and Cam Coleman dropped it. Why? Because they don't know how to win football games. There is a losing mentality that creeps in. While that ball was in the air, there was a losing mentality that creeped into Cam Coleman. And that was it. He drops the football. He drops the football. The biggest thing for me tomorrow, everybody's questioning this Auburn defense. Can they bring it one more time? I think we played great against mobile quarterbacks. Now, I hinted this on Hogs on the Hill last night, is I do think Taylon Green has gotten way better from last year to this year. I think the development of Taylon Green, with, by the way, who is with Bobby Petrino, QB whisperer, actually runs an offense out there in Fayetteville. He can get things rolling. They can score a lot of points. Can your defense show up? As long as Auburn's defense keeps Arkansas under, I would say, 24 points, I think Auburn's got a good shot to win. Will they do that? You better hope this Auburn offense can at least move the ball a little bit. You better hope they don't stay on the field all day with that Arkansas offense, because if they do, we might be in trouble, folks. We might be in trouble. Now, how does Auburn move the ball against Arkansas? I think you got to run the football, and you got to run it heavy. Tomorrow, you have to run it heavy. This is an Arkansas defense who's going to be without one of their main guys up front. Their biggest playmaker going to be out, not playing. They're already giving up 200 yards a game on the ground. This is a defense that is like 123rd in the country. They're terrible, abysmal. They told me last night, man, in the A&M game, we were just sitting there begging and praying for one stop, and we never got it. I said, so what did Texas A&M do? He said they ran it, they threw it, they did whatever they wanted to do at will. Run the football. Jeremiah Cobb, slip screens to Jeremiah Cobb. Omar Mabson, get the football to those guys. I believe in Auburn's running backs. This is a group that hasn't put it on the ground this year. I really, really like these two guys. I don't care that Omar, that he's 17 or whatever, 18, and should still be in high school. I don't care. All right? He's an Auburn Tiger. Give him the rock. Let him lower his head and go put a pounding on somebody. Same way with Jeremiah Cobb. Slippery, elusive, can get out the gate, and can bust a big run. Give the football to him, especially in wet conditions tomorrow. Pound the rock with Jackson Arnold, Eric Singleton Jr., Malcolm Simmons. Do not let up. Do not let up. And if you feel like you can pop one in there over the top, the run, the safeties creep up, bang, you little play action, pop one over the top, then do it. I'm okay with that. Somebody said on the last episode, well, Blake, you said you want Hugh Freeze to run the ball, but then when we get in overtime, you were like, oh, well, you should have thrown it to Cam on 3rd and 6. All right, look, yes, I want you to run the football, but on 3rd and 6, when the game is on the line, let's be reasonable here. 3rd and 6, game on the line. We're throwing the ball, dog. We're throwing the ball. Come on. That was a I give up play call, in my opinion. I know it was, you got 6 yards, 2 downs to get 6 yards. Let's try to get 3 or 4 here. I don't like it. And to me, it was a I fold, I give up play call. So I think Auburn if you can run the football successfully, which you should be able to, I know Kel Ellis is a true freshman, and he's going to be starting at center tomorrow. I hope and pray Mason Murphy is not starting at center. I don't want that. I'd rather just let Kel go in there and battle his tail off. I feel like he's held his own both times he's gotten into the game this year because of Connor's injury. Let him go in there and battle. I'm okay with the true freshman getting in there. Same thing happened with Connor. So let it happen with Kel Ellis. Can Auburn make a play? That's what it really boils down to. Can Auburn go on the road and make a play? Can Auburn go on the road and make a play? Because you've had opportunities. They've been sitting in your lap and you haven't been able to reel them in. And now's the time. Like, if you really care about Hugh Freeze, you'll play hard for him tomorrow and you'll try to get a dub. If you really care about this program, you'll play hard tomorrow and try to get a dub. If you care about turning this season around, you'll play hard tomorrow and get a dub. Because I think you're way more talented than Arkansas. I think you're way more talented than Arkansas. From top to bottom, except probably quarterback, man. Probably quarterback. I give them the edge. I will give them the edge. But you should beat Arkansas on paper. You look way better. Can you do it? Can you go make a play? Because I said last night, these two teams feel really similar, but so far apart. Like Arkansas feels like they got injected with a shot. All right. They feel like they got some energy. They got hooked up to an IV and there's a little spark there. All right. They're getting their mojo back a little bit. I know they're losing, but they're getting their mojo back a little bit because they fired Sam Pittman and they gave the interim to Bobby Petrino, who I think would be a wonderful fit for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Forgive that man and let him get his job back. But that's for another podcast, like Hogs on the Hill last night. And Auburn just seems like you're in a bad spot. Hugh Freeze is out the door. Is this team checked out? So you're similar record-wise, 3-4, 2-5. You're similar, but you are 1,000 miles apart with energy, momentum. It just really seems different on both ends in this matchup. So I don't like where Auburn sits. I can't pick Auburn to win. I can't do it. I've done it almost every week this year, and I've really thought that Auburn would look much better than this. And yes, I get that no matter how many times you want to tag me on Twitter, at me on Twitter, or whatever it's called, and say, well, we've been competitive and we've lost one-score games. Look, you've lost, okay? You lost. My grandpa used to always tell me, son, whether you lose by 1 or 100, you got your tail kicked. It don't matter. It don't matter if you lose 73-3 or 3-0. You lost. You're a loser. And guess what losers get? Nothing. You lost. And I just for that, you've shown the inability to win close games. And I think you're going to be in another close game tomorrow, and I can't pick you. I can't pick you. And I hate that because I thought this Auburn team was going to be pretty dang good. And I was wrong. And I'm going to eat crow for it, and that's fine. That's fine. Let's get over here to this comment section. Thomas, I got to you, man. What's up, War Eagle? How you doing? Miss Devin, War Eagle fam, how are we doing? Jackson over in here, the Alabama Crimson Tide are rolling, brother. He says, what's up, Auburn Tiger Nation? How are we doing today, man? Oh, boy. Miss Devin, battle of the cripples. It is that for sure. It is that. Thomas says, if our defense can score for us, that would be great too. Hey, great point right here. How about you force a couple of turnovers? I do think if you can force Talon into maybe some bad throws or a fumble, if it's wet out there, if you can force Arkansas to turn it over once, maybe twice. That would be, give your offense a short field to work with so they don't have to drive the length of the field and Jackson don't have to put a drive together. That would be great. Maybe that would bring some momentum to your sideline and get you some points that you weren't expecting. And also, it keeps Arkansas's offense off the field. And, I don't think you're going to see Auburn go a whole lot of up tempo tomorrow because this is going to be like a game of keep away for Auburn. You don't want Taylon Green and Bobby Petrino to have the football. So I think you're going to play some time of possession. I think that's going to lead for Hugh to run the football, even though he doesn't want to. I think it's going to lead for Hugh to run the football and try to keep it away from that Arkansas offense. And hopefully, if you have a chance to get 3, hopefully we give it a shot on the first one. We can knock it through. But if we don't, I think we got to start going for it on 4th down and things like that. We can't just continue to get empty possessions, especially down in the red zone. Can't continue to get empty possessions by not making field goals and things like that. It's not a shot towards Alex. And I've seen people make that all week on Twitter, be like, well, he's been through a lot. I get that. But at the end of the day, we have to start making field goals. And if he can't do it, then we got to find somebody or we just got to start going for it. That's all I got there. Anthony says, I'm just ready for it to end, Blake. I can't blame you there. It's hard to argue it. It's rough. It's been rough. I was watching McCready and Siskey, and I saw a TikTok clip, and they were like kind of making fun of Auburn about just losing, and they're like, look, this is a program that hasn't won, and maybe they're the problem. They want to blame all these coaches. Maybe Auburn's the problem. Look at Brian Harsin. He goes to, he won at Boise State. He goes to Cal as the offensive coordinator. They're putting up numbers, and they're scoring a lot of points. And they got a really talented true freshman quarterback out there. He looks like he's getting developed. So what was the problem? And he was like, maybe it's you, Auburn. And Siskey says, well, there's a guy in the chat that says this is even a program who ran Bo Nix out of town. Yeah, and go look at Bo Nix now. Goes up to Oregon, gets out of a crappy situation, and is now 5-2 in the NFL. And for the Denver Broncos and with Sean Payton, which is exactly where I think he needs to be. So maybe it is Auburn. Maybe it's just Auburn being Auburn, a good old fashioned case of Java. Maybe we sold our souls somewhere along the line of, I've seen that Auburn sold their soul for a 2010 national championship. But look, I'm going to make a quick prediction here. I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. I got to get out of here and go watch some high school football tonight. But look, I think Auburn loses this game. I do not trust the Auburn Tigers. I trust our defense. I think they play well. But if I had to put a number on it, I would say like 27 to 21, maybe like 27-17 or 24-21, something like that along those lines. I don't think Arkansas gets to the 30s, but I can't trust this offense. And I don't care if Ashton Daniels comes in. I don't think Ashton Daniels is the spark plug that Auburn needs. I hope if he does come in, he is that spark plug. I just don't think he is that guy. I just don't think he's the guy to turn it all around. What's up, Rodney? How we doing today, brother? What's up, buddy? Bruton, Alabama, Ward Dam. Hey, man, glad to have you in here. Appreciate you always. I do think you have to at least try. You have to at least try. If the quarterback doesn't get it done, I think you have to give Ashton a shot. What if Ashton doesn't get it done? What if Ashton goes in there and it's worse than Jackson? Do you go to Deuce? Do you go to Deuce? I mean, you have nothing to lose. Let's be honest. You have nothing to lose at this point. Auburn has 0 to lose and everything to gain. So I don't think you see Deuce. But Auburn's got to find a way to put 4 quarters together. And hopefully we get that tomorrow. But that's the quarterback situation. You're probably going to see Ashton at some point because I just don't think Auburn is going to do it. I think they're going to stall. I think you're eventually going to see Ashton try to come in and save the day. So, with that being said, I'm going to leave it there, man. It's War Damn Eagle as always, y'all. I appreciate y'all hopping on. I know it's Friday. I didn't go live last night. Hogs on the Hill. We were on there for about an hour. So go check that episode out. Look, I'm not trying to sit here and just dump on Auburn and be negative, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I just think it's a losing football team. And like I said last year, we are who we are. And I'm going to keep preaching that until I see otherwise, until somebody steps up and makes a play to win a football game. So appreciate y'all for joining me. Love y'all. It's War Damn Eagle. And y'all go have a weekend, man. Stay safe. See y'all Sunday. I'm out.